Why do I do this to myself? Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good one. It's your boy Phantasm Star. Have you ever read something that you particularly found interesting, but you didn't know what it was, but doing a little bit of research, you finally found it, and what you discovered was worse than expected? Well, that's what happened to me when I recently read a series that I, you know, really liked, but was so messed up. Well, not messed up, but like messed up enough to be you, like you'd have to have a lot of heart to read it. So that series was called The Horizon. Now, if you don't know what The Horizon is, it is like a almost 30 chapter manga. It's not a manga, it's a manga. I did not know it was until I researched it. But it's a 30 chapter manga where the story involves around a kid. He's in the middle of a war between, we don't know anything about the country, we don't know about what's the conflict. We just know he's a kid, he's in a war, and he's on a journey after his mom dies to go on this trip down to figure out where it leads to. And along the way, he meets this girl, and both of them travel together to get to find out where the road ends. And that's pretty much the story. So you might be asking yourself, Phantasm, why are you torturing yourself by reading this very depressing manga? Well, the simple answer is because I like to torture myself. No, the reason why is because I was very curious, and I will say I was not disappointed. I was very heart-wrenched. There was a lot of moments where I was like, no, I will not hurt myself anymore. But as I kept reading, found myself so intrigued by the entire series because we didn't really learn a lot about the main character as a person, but I felt so bad for them. Like every single time, like these kids did not deserve it. Which can be said about modern society and all that, but for me, I really liked it. But I would also say that the other reason why is because I have to say, I'm not a big person on the whole artwork thing, because there's some series out there that really nails artwork, like Berserk, and fuck, there's a lot. But I have to say, for a manga, like I have to say, I was stunned about all the imagery that was subjective in this manga, especially like the really you know ethereal moments, which were really great. So a little bit about the story. Yes, so these two kids are on a journey to on this road and on the way. So the series is split up into like almost 4 or 5 parts, and I'm not gonna spoil the ending because the ending is gut wrenching. But each aspect for each so each part is set up into 4 chapters each. So for each one, to kind of have a bit more perspective on why the war has affected a lot of people, from civilians to people, like to soldiers, to what, like everything, to even kids. Why, like how the war is affecting them themselves, and each one tears at yourself because tears yourself up from the inside, because what happens is that, like, you think that these kids are going to be having like you think that they're getting away and they have a successful future in one part of this chapter, but it tears itself out of you and like pulls yourself underneath and just says like, no, because this is reality. Reality hits hard in this series, and for each part of the series, going back, there's like these whole different stuff. So like one scenes, without spoiling too much about the story, they find this guy sitting on the side of the road, and he's obviously distorted. He looks like he's been through a lot. And the kids decided to bring him along with him. The girl trusts him almost immediately because she feels bad for him. But the boy, on the other hand, did not like him at first, but eventually warmed up to him. And you'd think that, like, oh, okay, everything's all right, they found a new companion, but those moments are swept behind, and immediately reality comes into play, which is like, this is, this is what it's really like. Now, I'm not going to say what happens, but it will shock you. But it was like, for those moments, I was genuinely like, what the fuck? But yeah, if you guys decide to read this series, I would recommend it, but with fair caution because it is a lot. You're not going to be hurt, but you will not be the same after this. I'm only putting on a smile so that way, like, it doesn't seem as bad as it sounds. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys have any other suggestions for future episodes for me to read, anything that you guys have, please put it down in the comments section. Also, please follow me on Twitter at PhantasmStar. Links are in the description down below. Until then, have yourself a good one.